Welcome to this explainer. Today we're doing something a little bit different. We're taking a super focused, almost surgical look at a single piece of source text. It's incredibly minimalist, literally just a single sentence, but wow, it carries a massive conceptual framework. It's kind of wild how much philosophical weight you can pull from just a handful of words, but we're going to unpack this definitive statement to see how it sets the stage for an entire industry's trajectory.
Elon Musk and the automotive frontier. The future of cars, according to Elon Musk. Just let that sink in for a second. It's just a few words, right? But look at how these specific terms construct a massive framework. It's not just a title. It's basically an architectural blueprint for how the source suggests we're supposed to view the entire automotive industry right now.
Okay, let's dive into this. What does it actually mean to stand at a frontier? I really want you to deeply consider the implications of that word as we move through this explainer. A frontier isn't some safe, settled city, you know? It's not the status quo. It's the absolute bleeding edge between what we know and what we literally have absolutely no map for.
So, let's break this down systematically. Section 1, the automotive frontier.
When we say automotive frontier, we're talking about the conceptual boundary line between the known present of cars and their uncharted evolution. The source material intentionally positions the current state of vehicles. So everything we know about steering wheels, gas stations, our everyday commutes, right on the edge of unknown territory. We're not just chilling in the middle of an era here, we are standing right on the precipice of a completely uncharted evolution. The edge of the unknown. Take a moment with that phrase. The text doesn't say we've arrived at the destination. Nope, it dictates that we are merely standing at the boundary line. And if you think about history, a frontier is always a place of immense tension, high risk, and really rapid innovation.
Let's move on and see how this builds in Section 2, defining the future.
The source text inherently creates this really interesting conceptual timeline. We start at day 1, the known automobile. That's the whole century of combustion engines and traditional manufacturing we're essentially leaving behind. Then we reach day 2, the automotive frontier. That's our current kind of turbulent boundary. And finally, we cross over into day X, the future of cars. It lays out a clear, undeniable path from the known, pushed right through that barrier, and into a newly defined reality.
Consider those two simple words for a moment. The future. The sheer weight of that phrase is massive. The text isn't talking about a possible trend, some fleeting fad, or an alternative idea. It promises a distinct, singular vision of what comes next. It claims immense authority over the timeline itself.
Which brings us to Section 3. According to Musk, let's look at the singular lens through which this future is being viewed.
And this brilliantly illustrates the central tension of our source text. On one hand, we have the future of cars, which is this broad, undefined global concept involving billions of people, massive infrastructure, entire global economies. But juxtaposed against that, we have, according to Elon Musk, a highly narrowed, singular, directed, and very specific lens. The text literally forces a massive global concept through a single individual's perspective.
Let's unpack exactly what that implies for us as learners. First off, it establishes a singular lens. We aren't looking at industry consensus or a panel of experts here, we're looking at one specific view. Second, it positions him as the frontier guide. If we're on the edge of the unknown, like we established earlier, well, the text designates this figure as the one holding the map. And third, it presents a directed vision. The future isn't just organically happening to us, it's being actively directed and authored.
Now, what's really interesting about this is the appendage of these exact 4 words, according to Elon Musk. By tying this phrase directly to the future of cars, the text roots the entire automotive evolution in one specific viewpoint. It heavily implies that to understand where cars are going, you don't necessarily look at the vehicles themselves, you look at the philosophy and the decisions of the person supposedly defining that frontier.
So the crucial point boils down to a simple question: whose future? To truly grasp the meaning behind this source material, we have to recognize its distinct framing. It doesn't present an objective, neutral timeline. It presents a subjective roadmap. When we talk about the future of this industry based on this specific text, we are inherently talking about a highly curated, tailored vision of what that future is supposed to be.
Which leads us to a fascinating place to wrap up our explainer today. If the global automotive frontier is being defined by a singular lens in our source text, I want to turn that premise right back to you. When you look at the edge of the unknown in your own world, your own industry, or your own learning journey, what does your frontier look like? Are you letting a singular guide define it for you, or are you charting that unknown territory yourself? Think about that as you navigate your own future. Thanks so much for joining me today, and keep asking the big questions.